All right, folks. Let's, in this episode, episode 11, let's finish the grading algorithm for this Angular 4, Angular 2 slash 4 tutorial. Let's, let's go to the game. Not that game. This one. We want these to pop up. What do we got it doing now? Let's just refresh this. If I go, dink. So what's my guess? This is 0145. I hit submit, and 0145 and 0450. So what should my grade have been? So when you grade this, if it is the right color in the right spot, this should turn black. You get a black peg. The order of these pegs do not correspond to the order of these. That would make it too easy. I could put a black peg anywhere. It just means that one of your colors was corresponding to the right color in the right spot. So for example, our 0, this 0 is the right color in the right spot, but this is our 0, but then we have the right color in the wrong spot. Well, this would just get one black peg for this. It would not get a black peg for this and a white peg for this. It just gets either a black peg or a white peg, and the black peg first. So the black peg, yeah. But this, our 4 would get a white peg because the white pegs are when you have the right color but in the wrong spot. So we would have had a black peg and 2 white pegs. So how do we want to do that? I want to make a new array, and we're going to just color these. We're gonna new array. So I would have had maybe a 1, 2, 2 in this array. Sure, maybe that's what I would have had, a 1, 2, 2, and that corresponds to 2. I'm having a thought. I could have like another color in this array, white. I already have black. I said black and white is what I want to use. What if I put a white color? So I had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4s and 7s, and then I could use the index. But I don't got to be that creative yet. So for right now, before putting in these colors, let's just put in numbers. Let's make an array of ones for blacks and 2s for whites. So we got to compare this. And I think we had this going on in. And I close you. It was in the answer thing. I'm going to close a lot of these. Close you. Close you. Close you. Close you. Close you. Close, 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 close. It was in this answer component. Remember we had something called compare our arrays, and that's what it printed out those arrays. So what I want to do is I want to check for black peg. Checking for the black peg is easy. Let me go back to our thing. I'm going to start with my guess, and I'm going to say, hey, if the guy straight across from me has my color, then put a black peg into the new array. But putting in the white peg, this is a great example of when we're going to have a problem. And when it gets to here, because the white peg says, like for this 4, it says, hey, check anywhere in here, not across from me, but anywhere else. And if the number matches, then I get a white peg. Well, this one says, so check the number, not the one across from me, but anywhere else, and so this would trigger a white peg, but it shouldn't because this triggered a black peg. The way we're going to handle that is, once the black peg triggers something finding it, I'm going to change this 0 to like a -50 or something. So it's not going to match anything here anymore. And I might change this. I think I probably just have to change the one in our answer array. So that's how I'm going to handle that. Back to the code. So we're going to check for white peg. So let's I'm going to use for eaches, not for loops. So I'm going to take this answer array, Command C, tab, Command V. Put it. I typed that F there. Dot for, is it capital H, right? For each, and inside of here, it doesn't like that. Supplied parameters do not match the signature call target. What? I don't even know what that means. Let's see if now does it match? Okay. Okay, so remember, I'm doing fat arrow functions. Angular 5 I would have done, I'm going to just Command X so it's there. I would have done this. Function, and in here I would have done like item or whatever, peg. Probably would have been peg. And it's for everything in this array, and that thing I'm calling an item, do whatever code goes in here. Well, I'm just going to Command Z it away, I guess. This is, I don't have to write the word function anymore. So what am I checking? I'm checking just this index in the array, but I don't want to look at the, I want to call it something more descriptive. This index is representing, dang it, a peg, but how many times have we used the word peg in this thing? Okay, if you're wondering why I got quiet, I just took a sip of beer. Okay, and then what am I doing here? Oh, by the way, I think I can call it I. Let's do this. Log tab I. I think if I just give it one parameter, it understands it's the first thing in the array. If I give it a second parameter, it understands it's the index of that thing in the array. And just to check that, because I'm actually not sure myself, I'm going to console log that I. So Command S to save it. And here, and this only happens when we hit the grade button. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. Submit. 0, 1, 2, 3. These were the indexes, and that is exactly what we wanted to see. Why do I need that? It's because, here's what I should have done. Let's log them both. Let's log the peg and the I. So what are we expecting the peg to be? We're stepping through the answer array, so we're expecting the peg to be the number in the answer array. So Command S. It's gonna refresh. Let's go. So our guess was all ones. Submit. And 2215, that is the answer array. So this is our logic's good so far. So what do we want to do? We want to compare the peg if the peg, that value equals, and we're going to look in the guess array. One more equal sign. Equals that sub I. And then we have to push into our new array. So what are we going to call this array? Let grade array. That seems like a really generic name. Equal to, so right now we're initializing it to nothing. We're going to push into it. So we would say, and see, grade array dot push. What are we going to push into it? We're going to push, well, for right now, let's just say black, because that's a black peg. So let's test it. So I'm going to just go 0, hit submit, and we didn't get any black pegs. But I can, in this next guess, get some because I know what the answer is. It's 3402, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. 0, 1, 2. So now it should say black, 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 black. However, it did not. Well, and a good reason for that is because I didn't log the array. I hate being retarded. So we don't want to. We want to log it after it finishes this for each, and it finishes it right here. Let's log it. Log the grade array. 0, 1, 2, 3. Submit. Okay, nothing matches up straight across, so we shouldn't be surprised that this is empty. But if I enter in 3, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 1, now it says black, 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 black. If I said 3, 1, 1, red, we haven't done anything with the whites, so it should just say black, black. Will it? Black, black. All right. So the black part is working. I don't want it to say black though. I want it to say 1. And I also, when we do that, I want to make I want to remove that from the array and the guess array so that when we come back with the white pegs, it doesn't trigger a white peg as well. So let's set this equal to, and this is not liking that. Let's set this equal to -2. Why am I doing a string? -2. I could have set it equal to anything. Guess array. Oh, that was okay. So let's take a look at this again. We got a 1. After it, so it printed it, but it didn't print it. So if I print it again, it should show a bunch of -1s. I'm going to put in 3, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 1. No, this is a 1. 0, 0. And it's going to print our guess. And now our guess should be well, you'll see. Why didn't it do it? Wasn't the guess just why is it all zeros? What am I looking at? So let's go back over here. This didn't happen. So instead of having it print it before, I'm going to have it printed after, because it's after that this happens. And I think I was confusing myself trying to, guess I can't say, it's hard to explain confusion when it's you that's confused, because, okay. So we got 2 1s. Our 0 was, we got 2 blacks. One of them was our guess of 0, and one of them was our guess of 2. So 0 and 2 we actually got right, and it said you got 2 1s, and it turned those to -2. And again, the reason we like that is because when this looks there is no way in the world, even if it's looking at, it's no way in the world that it's going to find itself there. It's going to count this twice, and there's no way in the world. All right. Okay, so now we got to do the whites. So I'll just take it out for now. Um, this is ending for each. This is ending. That's ending that. That's ending that. Okay. So now I'm going to look at this dot answer array. It's not a function. Dot for each. And I'm going to look at the rest of it. I did not do that right. For each, put that there. Fat arrow function, dink, fat arrow, and don't like, and hit right here. Okay, and then right here I'm going to say peg, and I might need the I. I don't think so though. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to. I gotta check for the whites. So I have a solution in my brain that's saying if I check the guess array for the index of this peg, if it exists, that'll mean there's a white peg in there. And that's true. Let's see if I can have an example. So let's say this 2. Nope. This 4. This 2. You know what? Maybe I want to change this because I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to say, look in this. This has already been graded. This was graded, but this was graded. So you know what? I'm going to give the answer arrays -1s. The grade array, not the grade array, the answer array. This dot answer array. This dot answer array sub I equals -1. That way, not only did the grade array get matched up to something, but later when I go through this answer array, and I'm going to look at that same one that was already, look, I'm going through it again right here. I want to make sure that I don't find a match to give it a white peg. So I'll just make it a -1 now. Okay, that's going to get rid of a problem I didn't foresee until just then. But the problem of looking for the index is, let's go back here. So I'm here. I look for the index, and let's say I find it right here. Well, obviously right here would work because there's -2, but I find an index. Great. So this guy just earned a white peg. Let's say this was another 4, and I say, let me look, and I say, look, I found it, and then he earns a white peg for the same dang piece. So that's not okay. So I think that is not going to work with what my strategy is not going to work. What I think I need to do is a nested for loop. So I'm going to call this a peg answer, or an answer peg. Peg, and I am going to get the index of it just because I think I might need it. And this if's going to happen, but inside of this loop, I'm going to have another nested loop of the guess array. So I'm going to say Command C, Command V, dot for each. Dot for each, like this. go like that, fat arrow, those guys, and this is looking at the guess peg. Now I might have something called guess peg somewhere else and answer peg somewhere else, but when I do this answer peg only exists inside between this and this, and this guess peg only exists between this and this. So you're thinking, man, you careful reusing those variables. I probably should be, but I am, I guess I'm not. So just to make sure, I'm going to log or console log the answer peg, the guess peg, the answer peg with I, and then the guess peg with J. So it should print out 16 things. These should only switch every 4. This should switch every. This should go through the same 4 times. Let's test that. I saw some red before it refreshed. All right, didn't do it. Submit. So answer peg I, guess peg J. Answer peg, here's the answer, 222, and then it matched I. This is the index of the answer peg. What was our guess? 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So this one turned into a -1, and this one turned into a -1. So here's a bunch of -1s, and here's a bunch of -1s. Okay. Here's a 2, here's a 2. Okay, so this is a bunch of zeros, this is a bunch of 1s, this is a bunch of 2s, this is a bunch of 3, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, this is the J, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, and this is, because it is looking at my guesses, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, but the first and the third were matched with a -2, so 0. Okay. You can hit pause and look at that for as long as you want, but I'm convinced that our for loop, our nested for eaches are working. So now I got to do something in here. So the I is in control of the answer peg, the J is in control of the guess peg, the index of it. So if, and I could say this.ds.guessRay sub I, but my answer, I'm just going to call those answer pegs. Command C, Command V, equals, equals, equals. If the answer peg, Command V, if the answer peg equals the answer peg, well, I certainly hope it does. Timeout. So this is future me interjecting the middle of this tutorial of episode 11, because this thing ended up being so long I'm breaking it in half.